it's Carolyn, the contest queen. So I thought I would do a little bit of catch up here and answer questions, lots of questions that I didn't get to in the Facebook Lives because the feed goes so fast I can't catch all of them. And also I had some people commenting on the roll up to rim contest that when I was showing how to use the rim roller they couldn't see it, so I saved 3 more cups and I got my rim roller and we're going to start with that. So this is actually called rim roller, right? I don't know, can you see that in the camera? It's hard to see because it's like, oh wait, maybe I can catch the light on it. It says rim roller and it's curved just like the edge of the cup, so you can see that they're, yes, I rinsed the cups out because I was saving them for this. So you can see that it matches perfectly to the cup. So when you push it down, and you see it's got like a split, right? So it splits, you can see that, and it pulls, it's got like this little, and it pulls the lip up. So what you have to do when you have a cup that has it, you need to find where the arrow is on the cup, right? Because that's where the prize is going to be. Because you could roll up other parts of the cup, but there would be nothing there. So you just take it and you shove it down over this, right? So let's see if I can do it to the camera. So I'm doing it a bit backwards, so it's a little awkward, right? So you push it down, so it's down. Okay, we see that. And you just pull straight up. And as it went up, it pulled the thing. Please play again. Okay, let's try another one. I washed them and now they're stuck together. Oh, this isn't good. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to do the rim roll again, and then I'll show you the other method to do this. Oh dear, the bottom of this is soggy. So I put this on. This is hard with this cup because it had been wet, and then I stuck it in the other cup to save it, and that wasn't very smart. But when you push this thing over, if you look, I don't know if I can show it, you can see there's a bit of silver there. That's what pulls the lip. Please play again. Oh, this is terrible. Now, if you don't have a rim roller and you want the fastest way to do this, I'll have to, I had a tea here that I just spilled. Of course, Murphy's Law, right? You're all alive and you get tea everywhere. Thank God it didn't go on my computer. So, okay. No, it's not Tim Hortons. I just used my lucky mug. So if you don't have a rim roller, just squish it flat and roll up. Please play again. Duds. Not even a donut or a coffee. So much for that. Okay, so now let's get to these. Literally, I have 5 pages of questions. So let me answer these. Okay, so Whitney wants to know, how do you not get discouraged sweeping with mega sweepers? They post referral links and have 40,000 of their own followers. Okay, well, I don't get discouraged, Whitney, because I'm not entering the ones that they're entering. Okay, so I think Whitney's referring to the referral sweepstakes where people will refer like dozens and dozens. They'll put a referral link. They have a lot of followers. They get all the extra entries from those. So I'll enter. I'll throw my hat in the ring if it's a quick and easy one. But if it's, something you're doing all the time, I'm not expecting to get the referral entries. And it only takes one to win. And I know how the random drawings are done. So, I'm going to get what I'm going to get. And then I've been focusing on other sweepstakes. I've been focusing on radio sweepstakes. I've been focusing on text sweepstakes. These are ones that they're not going to win, right? So that's what I've been focusing on, and I'm finding it's been working for me lately. And if you talk to some of the other mega sweepers, go back and watch my interview with Tom Cavalli of I Win Contests, because he because he wins a ton. He only enters an hour a day, and he even doesn't like the referral ones. So, there's always a way around it. So both Amanda and Carol ask, if a contest doesn't say in the rules, but hosts it on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, is it okay to enter on all three? Well, first of all, message the sponsor on all three platforms and say, hey, your rules aren't clear. You're hosting this on 3 platforms. Can I enter on all 3 or just one? In other words, if enough people do this, maybe they'll get the hint that the next time they run a contest, they should fix the rules. Feel free to say, next time, hire the contest queen to help you run your sweepstakes. She will help you avoid problems like this in the future. If it doesn't say what you can enter, I enter all 3. If they don't say, too bad. Michelle asks, I'm mailing for sweepstakes entries and sometimes code requests. Most times I don't get a code. Feels like a waste of time. Have you ever won a mail-in? So, about the codes, yeah. If I really want it, like postage in Canada is far higher than the US. So our postage is $1 plus tax. So if I need a return address stamped envelope in there, I'm like at $2.50 before I even send it away. Now, it depends on the product. If it's a chocolate bar and it has a code in it, or a loaf of bread with a code, it's still cheaper for me to buy the bread than mail away for the code. If it's a very expensive item and I really want the prize, I'll mail away for it. So you have to judge what you're doing there. And have I ever won mail-ins? I used to win a lot of mail-ins, but I haven't seen an official or original, I think they call it original entry blank, in Canada since 2006. And then the mail-ins now are basically when it's a purchase entry and then you can mail away for a code. I have one that a few years ago, Air Canada was doing a tweet your seat contest. So obviously you had to buy a plane ticket, very expensive. And so I mailed in and I won a gift card and I was able to take my daughter on vacation with that airline gift card. So that was pretty good. So that was worth my my postage stamp. Elaine wants to know, can you get a UPC online if you don't have the product? So she had posted on my last feed that there was one for cream of wheat here in Canada and you have to put in a UPC. So if you read the rules, there's actually a link in the rules that says, click here if you don't have a UPC. You can trust the ones online. I used to use them all the time, but I go to the grocery store like a couple times a week. So that's where your cell phone is awesome. I just take the product, hold it up, snap a picture of it with my phone, and then I have the UPC and I can make sure I have it correctly. So that's what I do, so if you're a little worried. And then half the time, like, cream of wheat, hello, I have some in my cupboard, so I would just have to go downstairs and look. Peggy says, any tips on getting Redbook to respond? I won a year ago and still I'm waiting for my prize. Okay, I love this expression, poop rolls downhill. So if you don't get a response, then start finding out who is in the marketing department. This is where LinkedIn is really good for this stuff, okay? LinkedIn is basically the corporate version of Facebook. And, oh, hey, Teresa. And everybody posts on there, their jobs. So start doing LinkedIn searches for people that work at the company. Find a director or a vice president of marketing and write to them and complain about this contest, how it's not being run properly, how no one's gotten back to you, that you've been very, very patient, and they will be on it. Now, sometimes these big companies like Redbook, they're not even doing their own marketing. They've hired agencies to run their marketing for them. So it would be good for the company to find out that the agency that they're paying to run their sweepstakes or their social feeds isn't doing a good job. So that's what I would do in that case. And you'd be amazed. I've had one woman from a local grocery chain. She had this problem and they wouldn't get back to her, and she'd won a check of, I think, several $1,000s. And the minute she did that, she had her check in 3 days, because the boss is going to go down to the marketing department go, why am I hearing about this? Why aren't you doing your job? So it's amazing how, like I said, poop rolls downhill. And, and be nice about it. You know, you don't have to be snarky, or people are running these companies. And sometimes some people are having a bad day, and sometimes things happen. Like, you know, the person that was dealing with your prize, they might have left the company, and then the next person come along and doesn't even have a clue that you'd even won something. Or nobody gave them the stuff because somebody else had it. And so just be nice about it, because you get more flies with honey than you do with vinegar. Jen wants to know, are you going to do live videos every week? No, but fairly frequently. I have a lot on my plate. Like, I'm behind on blogging. I haven't got my newsletter out. It was supposed to go yesterday. And I'm working on client projects. Hey, follow me. Make sure you follow me across all social channels, because there's a big contest coming up for Canada soon. Win a trip to Mexico for Cinco de Mayo. So this is actually when we start, you know, when the clients want to start planning this kind of stuff, and rules have to be written, and it's going to even be open to Quebec, so the regie has to be filed and all that stuff. So it's kind of exciting, you know, doing all the behind the work stuff. And, you know, I can't enter and win because I'm helping to run it. But I can tell all you guys to go do it. So both Candace and AE Minx want to know, can you recommend resources for local sweepstakes? Now, AE lives in Las Vegas, so searching is really hard, because when they go Las Vegas sweepstakes, it's all trips to Las Vegas. So what I do in my bookmarks is I have a weekly folder, and I have bookmarked all my local resources. So every local radio station, every local TV station, every local paper, website, anything that's regional and local, I have bookmarked. And then I go to those every week and check and see if they've added anything new, and enter the ones that are online, and make notes of what online radio ones they're doing, so I listen. So sometimes I hop the dial, which makes for really eclectic listening in my office. So I'll listen from country to rock to pop to oldies. Depends on who's giving away what. Thankfully, I like all that different types of music. So this office isn't boring. So that's what I do to find local sweepstakes. And then also, if you have local friends that are sweepers, you can help each other. Hi, Boise. Good morning. So that's what I would do. And if you have a club, like I think there's actually a Las Vegas Sweepstakes Club. If you go to my resources section and say, look under Sweepstakes Clubs and then American, and I have a list of the clubs that wanted to be listed, but also search for that. So, you know, meeting fellow sweepers in your region, you help each other find other local sweepstakes. So Cheryl has 2 questions. Her first one is, how do I organize my sweepstakes? And when is the best time to enter? Well, I'm going to give myself a little plug here, Cheryl. I have a whole chapter on that step by step in my book. It's only $20. Go to Amazon and order it. And if you want to save even more money, it's only $10 on Kindle. So, you know, there's no excuse. One win and you've already paid for the book, and you're going to learn far more than just that. Okay, there's a question here from Boise. Are there resources for entering contests if you're visually impaired? Maybe articles about it. Ooh. I have never seen such a thing. I'm going to ask you this question back, and you can type in the response. Do you have a computer that you use for being visually impaired? We used to have a member of my Toastmasters club who was blind and would come in with a computer and a headset and would fully participate in the meetings, and that's how he would take notes and have feedback for it. So I'm assuming that if you had that same type of computer, it could read what would be on the screen to you so you could hear it. So if you could answer me, I have a regular computer but use high contrast and large print. Okay. So he was completely blind, so you are in a different category. Okay, let me ask you this. This is interesting, having this conversation across Facebook Live. If you went to a sweepstakes aggregate, which lists legitimate sweepstakes for people to enter, and you blow up the screen, I guess, make it, zoom in, can you read the contest information on the screen? Okay, so I'm going to go answer the next question. I'll wait for her to get back to me. So how do you get others to use your referral links? You don't. Everybody's posting them now. What we do in our contest club is we have a group page, and if I find a referral contest, I'll post it in there, and then another member, we all troll the group, and another member will post in there on one thing, and then they use my link, and then they post their link, and then we each give each other just a few entries each, and that's how we use it. And if you go to share my sweepstakes or share share your sweepstakes, share your contest, depending if you're Canadian or American, we set up the same kind of thing where somebody posts the referral links and then you each share for each other. Plus it gives you the sharing benefit from the contest, so you can try that. Okay, now I have an answer back. I can, but I have some more visually impaired friends and I want to enter that do not have the same resources. Oh, so it's for your contest buddies. You know what? I'm embarrassed to say that I've never heard of anything that could help you. So you can do that, but your friends can't. Yeah, I honestly don't think that companies, when they're creating sweepstakes, even think about it, especially since a lot of them are going to visual content. The one that I'm helping the sponsor create, part of it is take a picture with the product and submit it on Instagram. I mean, that's completely visual. So, I think the only thing I could think of that just popped into my head is maybe set up a buddy system with a sighted sweeper and tag team. That's the only thing I could think of to help, That, and they can all definitely enter all the radio contests, listening and dialing in to win. Those are fantastic. So you can try that. Okay, so let's go on here. Darcy, when will companies continue to stop running voting contests? Never. So, unfortunately, companies are running voting contests because it gets them the traction that they want online. So, put yourselves in a marketer's shoes. So, I'm Miss Marketer, and I've got a client, and they want to see this much engagement on Instagram, this much engagement on Facebook, this much traffic to their website, this much, and all they do is look at hard data. So if they run a voting contest that has a lot of people coming to their website or a lot of people coming, and a lot of interaction and a lot of commenting, they're going to look at that data and go, wow, this was great. We should run another one. They don't see that the top winners went to, whatever country, typed in buying votes and spent money and got all these votes. They don't look at that. They don't care. And it's even worse if it's an agency, because the agency says to the client, look at all the traction we got you. Look. And they go, that's fantastic, and pay their bill and say, well, when are we going to run another one? So, yeah, that's not going to happen, sadly. Tamara writes, any tips on reducing emails? I get so many, I can't keep up. It's funny. I just had this problem. So in January, I decided to do a little bit of a cleanup, and so I spent more time on it, but then in the end, it became less time. I just started going through, and any company that I didn't interact with or dealt with on a regular basis, like I still like my flyers from certain companies because they have sales and things that I like to make sure I get the deals. So what I did was I went and I purged, and I just literally, I unsubscribed and unsubscribed. And now some companies don't email as frequently. So now I still find the odd one, and I'll just go and I'll unsubscribe here and there. And I just keep unsubscribing, and it reduces it tremendously. When you share for an extra entry, does it have to be set to public to qualify? No, it does not, because it would still show as a share on the company's end. However, if they want to come and check your feed to make sure that you did share it, I set it to public. I'm assuming because you don't want all your friends and family to see all these sweepstakes on your feed. So, yeah, I set all mine to public. That's what I do. Everybody knows it. So, if they get bothered by it, they don't have to follow me on Facebook. Melissa wants to know, is there such a thing as entering too much? Yeah. Is there such thing as drinking too much or exercising too much? Or yeah, you can't let it take over your life. She says all the social sites, she enters on all the social sites, text, email, sponsor sites, etc. And she does about 500 a day, and she's on her longest dry spell in 15 years. So that is a clue that something's got to shift, right? If it's not working, shift something. So my advice is first start with all the sponsor sites and the email ones, and then texting, and then do social last. Only because your chances of winning something massive on social sites is less than a sponsored site. Right after I talked about a client that was going to be giving away a trip to Mexico on Instagram. But in general, that seems to be the rule. You find the bigger prizes tend to be on, you know, where they want you to go to XYZ site and fill it in, and, you know, extra entries if you share on social and use the hashtag and things. So, but if you're looking to organize your time, I would start with one-time only sweepstakes and work your way down from there, because like I have limited time, so that's what I try and do. And then I also use all my downtime to do my social ones. So if I'm standing in line somewhere, I'm waiting for someone or something like that, that's when I do the social sweeps. So this question was very popular. I had 3 people ask this one. They say, where do you find new sweepstakes? And what are the best websites to enter these sweepstakes? So again, back to the aggregates. I created contestqueen.com as a hub of all things contesting, because when I started in 2001, there was nothing. I had to find everything everywhere. It was all over the place, all over the place. And I wanted to make it easier for people, so I started, there's a resource section on my website, and it lists, you know, American, Canadian, and international. And so go to where you need to vote, and then hit find sweepstakes, and then click on aggregates. There's also newsletters, different ones. So click on those different things and go and see what sites are available and check them out, because they're all different formats, they're all different styles. Some are paid for the premium features, some are not. And everyone has their own style and what they like to use. So I can't answer that question for you on what the best site is to enter, because what the best site for me is not necessarily the best site for you. And that's where you can find better sweepstakes. It also helps because they tend to be legitimate. Like the people owning these sites, they vet the sweepstakes before they post them. So it really helps to see that, because then it's going to help eliminate the problem of, is this a scam? Especially for newbies. So Denise wants to know, does RoboForm really cut down the time of entering contests? Yes. When I started using it, it cut my contest time in half. Crazy, half. So I think it's really worth it. It's when I started, you used to buy it outright, and then they went to, if you wanted the upgrades, then they went to what they call a SAS model, subscription as service, and it's only like $20 a year. Again, one win, you've paid for it. The Sweepstakes has to be the cheapest hobby around because basically you need a computer, which most of us already have. You need Wi-Fi or internet, which we already have, and then a few tools, which cost $20. You know, you buy my book and you buy RoboForm, you're in for $40 for the year. One win, you've already paid for both of those. You're good. So I highly recommend it. Neil wants to know, what are your thoughts on spouses both entering the same contest? Some call it cheating, and but the rules state one entry per person, not one entry per household. So I don't think it's cheating. I think it's following the rules. I have talked to sponsors about this. They like it, actually, because it increases their numbers. A lot of agencies running sweepstakes for clients, the more numbers they get, the better it is. As long as you're following the rules, it's not a problem. They just don't want cheating. So if it says one entry per person and you enter yourself, Neil, and you enter your wife, it's still one entry per person. It's following the rules. You know, I used to do it when I was married, and I started dating, and I knew he was the guy for me when he said, so let's talk about this. Instead of going out on a date, we stayed in. And then he said, so how about this contest stuff? So instead of watching a movie, he came into my office, and I showed him how to sweepstakes. So we're entering now. And I'll send him text, and I'll say, go enter this, or call here, or we'll listen to a different radio station in the car. It's pretty funny. So, yeah, we're having fun together with the sweepstakes stuff. Laura wants to know, if you have limited time, is it better to enter one contest multiple times or many contests only once? I would enter many contests only once. I would go and enter one-time entry-only sweepstakes because then your odds of winning are even, and it's just one toss into the hat, and you can forget about it, and you can go on to the next one. So Angel has a couple of questions here. She wants to know, what is a dirty link? So this is back to the first question we had about referral entries. So a dirty link is when someone like me would go and enter a sweepstakes and get my referral link, and then I would blog about the contest or post it on my social feeds and get all my followers to enter. Hi, Mary. Get all of my followers to enter. So it's considered a dirty link because I'm not telling you that I'm getting all the extra entries from this. So when you go to my site or my Facebook page, all those links, my Contest Queen, let me be clear, my Contest Queen Facebook page, they're all clean links. They may be a tracking link, so a company might hire me to run a sweepstakes for them or share a sweepstakes for them, and they give me a special link so they know that I'm doing my job that they've paid me to do. So you might see a tracking link from me, but it's not a dirty link because I'm getting paid by the sponsor, but I'm not even in the drawing, right? I'm getting paid to get the word out to you guys. So that's a tracking link. A dirty link is when I'm trying to win and I don't tell you guys. That's sneaky. Okay? Now, on my personal page, I'll share the referral links, and I try and remember probably like 90% of the time, 90% of the time, I remember to put the word referral in there. I occasionally forget. I'm human, and sometimes I go fast and I forget, or I'm tired. So, you know, but pretty much if you see it on my personal Facebook page, it's probably a referral link. Oh, and some it might not say referral because I'm just sharing it. It'll say share to get an extra entry. Well, it's not really a referral because I'm not getting an extra entry if you click on it. I just got my extra entry from sharing it. I hope that's clear. And the other question she had is, what about taxes on big prizes if you don't make a lot of money? Now, this is specifically an American question because Canadians do not pay taxes on winnings of any kind. So if we win the lottery, we take all of the money. Now, our prizes generally aren't as big as the ones in the States, but still, it adds up. So I have a section on this in my book on how you can save for the taxes. And it depends on what the prize is. Some of them include cash to cover the taxes. It's why a lot of people like to enter the cash sweepstakes, because then they already have the cash, so they just save that cash out of the prize to pay for the taxes in the year. A lot of people end up selling their big prize because they can't afford the tax, so they keep the difference. Like if you own a car and you can't afford the taxes on it, they sell the car, put the tax money away, keep the difference. So they're still up. And then also make sure that when you get the form 1099 miscellaneous, that the amount is actually accurate, because if they've tried giving you, assessing the prize at a higher value than it actually is, you can get it adjusted for tax purposes. Leanne wants to know, how do we know if we're responsible for extra costs? And what's funny is when I kept reading her comment, she answered her own question. She said, read the rules. So yeah, it's read the rules. There's usually a clause in there. So if you win a trip, it'll say stuff like, you're responsible for getting to and from the airport, tips, outings, extra food. It depends on what's included in the prize. So I always remind people it's a cheap trip, not a free trip. Okay? You know, if you want to go sightseeing, if you want to buy that little dress in the shop next to the hotel, I mean, none of those things are included, right? If you want to go to a schmancy restaurant, that's not part of it. So you just read the rules, but generally things like that. Even a cheaper example, if I win movie passes for a big blockbuster that I really want to see on a big screen, and my daughter and I go downtown, we're paying for gas, I'm paying for parking, I'm probably paying for something to eat. So, that's not included. I just got the movie passes. Oh, hey, Donna. Yes, I miss you too. I got a mwah. Yeah, mwah back. I love it. That's, I have a question here about the conventions. Actually, that's funny because Marilyn, the next question, good timing, Donna. Marilyn says, what's the benefit of going to a sweepstakes convention? You make friends. And that's actually where I met Donna. I met her at a sweepstakes convention, and it's been so many years I don't even know which one we had originally met at, because we went to so many of them together. So I'll tell you about the first convention I went to. It was in 2005, and it was in Moline, Illinois. And my ex and I, we went for the weekend. It was a 4-day, Thursday night, Friday, all day Saturday, Sunday morning, and then we drove home. And so so we get there, and I remember going into the conference hall, it's big, and there was like 600 people attending this one. And I walked in, and I felt like I knew everybody. Like I just knew everybody. And I remember calling a girlfriend of mine after, and I said, oh my God, this is crazy. It's like, I know everybody. I belong here. She goes, oh, you found your soul group. She said, that's rare. I'm like, wow. So this is like my tribe or my peeps, this is where I belong. And it's just fun. So first of all, here what I think are the benefits. First of all, I'm with like-minded people. Because I say the hobby attracts the good crazies. You have to be a little bit off to do this on a daily basis. So I call it the good crazies. And what I like is everybody's positive. So a lot of people don't like to say what they win because other people complain. So if you're in the office, you can go, oh my God, I just won tickets to so-and-so. Everyone goes, oh God, you won again. They just kind of roll their eyes. Or you're so lucky, and they don't want to hear it. So a lot of times people shut down. But with sweeping buddies that you make, you go, oh my gosh, last year I won my first car. I won this trip to, Hawaii. Or everyone's like, yay. They cheer for you. They don't hate on you. They cheer for you. Because guess what? They won something too. Like everybody's a winner. I love it. Then you learn something. There's always something to learn. I have never been to a convention where I didn't learn at least one thing. So it always advances my hobby. Then it's just freaking fun. You're hanging around, you're listening to speakers, they're giving away prizes, you're in a different city every time. So then you can sightsee and go to restaurants and all this stuff. So that's fun. And then you make friends. Like, friends for, some of them I've made friends for life from this hobby. Like, if you watched my video with Tom Cavalli a few weeks ago, he found me online somewhere. I'm not sure if he saw a show or not. Then he got my book. And then at one point I did meet him at a convention, and he stuck with me now. I'm his friend forever. I assume the feeling's mutual. I don't know if he's going to see this. And then I've got girlfriends that I've made that aren't part of the sweepstakes, public world. They're just sweeping buddies, like Donna. And it's just fun. And oh my God, now because I've been to so many and I see these people sometimes once a year, you show up and it's just like a reunion. You're all screaming and hugging, and I don't know. It's just, to me, it's worth every penny. Unfortunately, I won't be going this year. Life has been shifting and different things going on. So it's not in the cards this year. Well, we'll see. So let's go on to another question. Dawn wants to know, is it still against Facebook rules to require tagging for entries? It's funny. I was Googling that just before I went on here, and I didn't look at it. So I'm just going to, my eyes are over here because I'm looking at the latest incarnation. It was updated on, it hasn't been updated in a while. I was thinking with the new Facebook algorithms, they might have updated this. But they didn't. So the last update of the Facebook page guidelines, because when companies host it, it's on a page, not a feed or an account. So there's personal accounts and business accounts. So the page guidelines are promotions. Yes. So it still says the same thing. Promotions may be administered on pages or within apps on Facebook. Personal timelines and friend connections must not be used to administer promotions. Example, share on your timeline to enter, or share on your friend's timeline to get additional entries, or tag your friends in this post to enter are not permitted. Everybody does it anyway. So, okay. So let's see. Margot wants to know, I need more tips on how to bookmark my contest. Margot, I know you won a copy of my book this year because I actually handed it to you in person. So go read the chapter on my online contesting system, because I outline step by step on how to organize your sweepstakes. That's the key to me. I teach people how to find, organize, enter, and win. And to me, the whole key is organize. Organize is key. So that's what I think it is. And I think that's what you should do. Okay, so the last question on this page is Jen. How can I tell a legitimate sweepstakes from a scam? So I've posted about this. I don't know if people know this, but if you go to contestqueen.com and there's the title bar, and there's, the little home and the about and the services and all these different things that I do, resources. At the very end, there's a magnifying glass. And if you click on that, you can type in anything you're looking for, like the word scams. And every article I've ever written, I have been blogging for 10 years. I've had my newsletter for 13. There is a ton of stuff on my site describing anything and everything. So do searches on that stuff, because I have whole articles, and there's a whole section in my book on it too. So, but if you're going to sweepstakes aggregates to find the sweepstakes, makes it much easier, because they, again, won't post things that are fake, because it's their site's reputation is on the line. So I have a few questions left here, and then I'll wrap this one up for today. And if you're watching this, obviously not live, and you have a new question that I haven't answered, post it below, and I'll be doing this again in March, more sweepstakes Q&A. So Holly wants to know, I'm entering gaming contests and now getting Twitter notices that my account is violating Twitter rules because I'm exhibiting automatic behavior. Could this be what is causing it? Yes. So anytime you give a site permission, they can tweet on your behalf. You get this a lot on Facebook too. You like a contest and it's got the pop-up and it says, hey, we can share to your friends and stuff. And you always click yes. So you can go into Twitter and look under the settings and go through and find out the permissions. And, you can take away all the permissions. You can go and unallow all those things under there. And hopefully that'll resolve your problem. It's a little bit of a manual fix. Maybe it take you about 15 minutes or an hour, maybe, depending on how many companies you've given permission to. But that should solve the problem. Jean wants to know, what do you do when asked to retweet and tag or hashtag the tweet? I've been quoting with the hashtag. Okay, so I talked about this in the past show. If they're asking you to retweet to win, they're probably drawing from the retweets. And if you quote the tweet, you won't be in the retweet drawing because it won't notice it. If they're drawing on the hashtag, then it's okay to quote the tweet and tag a friend and use the hashtag because they're searching on the hashtag, and then your tweet will be in the hashtag search. So I hope that clears that up. Okay, Kitsa wants to know, what happens when the rules are not clear on a Facebook contest? I would hate to enter and win to find out I'm not eligible. Write them and ask. Again, this goes back to the one where, hey, it's on 3 platforms and I'm not sure if I can enter on all 3 or it's just one. Ask them. This is going to teach companies they need to fix the rules for the next sweepstakes. They should have on there who's eligible, when it ends, exactly what they're going to win, and exactly what you have to do to enter. And they should also have a link in there to go to an official rules page. So the one that I'm working on with the client, because links are not clickable on Instagram yet. One day they will be, I'm sure. We're driving people to the link in the bio, and when they click on it, it will go to an official rules page. So we're going to have short rules in the description, full rules in the link. There's no excuse. Companies can use a bit.ly link, like a shortened link, and they can always go to the rules. There's no excuses. And the last question today is from Christy, who wants to know, how do you keep from getting overwhelmed? I don't. I always feel overwhelmed. I have so much to do. I let it go. I enter what I enter. If I don't get to it, I don't get to it. There's always another prize to win. I can't just do it all. I'm only human. So it is what it is. I win what I win. And I have fun with it. Because I found when I started stressing and freaking out, that's not the point of the hobby. The point of the hobby is to have fun and enjoy it and, do all that kind of stuff. So I would go with that. So yeah, just let it go. Don't get overwhelmed. And have a system. Again, having a system where you can enter what you really want to win first and do the singles so you get those out of the way and you get to maximize the amount of entries, and then do the social. I think where people finally really get overwhelmed is the social sweepstakes there's so many. And there's Facebook, and there's Twitter, and there's Instagram. Everyone keeps talking about Snapchat sweeps. I really don't see them in Canada. But it's just ridiculous. You can't do it all. You'd be doing it all day, and people have kids and a job, and they have to housework, and they want to volunteer at an organization, and they want to, do Netflix, binge watch Netflix at night. You can't do everything. So let stuff go. Have a system, and it keeps you on track. And then if you don't get to the social sweeps one day, it doesn't matter, because you've entered to win the car, and you've entered to win the trip, and you've entered to win the big prize pack, or the new vacuum, or the new TV, or whatever big kitchen appliances that you want to win. So you get those entries in first, and those are the ones to focus on. So I hope I've answered. I've caught up on all my questions. So again, if you have a question I haven't answered yet, post it below. I've had a January Q&A, and I had a earlier in February Q&A, so you can go back and watch those. Unfortunately, the 2 contests that I had for those are finished, so you can't enter to win those. But again, follow me across all my social feeds because I'm always sharing stuff, and companies are always asking me to promote stuff for them. So, you know, check out that. And be sure to click on See First on Facebook. And if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to me so you don't miss a single video, because I don't just do sweepstakes Q&As. I do a little show called With the Contest Queen, and then I do sometimes random videos that I teach people, and then I put any interviews I do on there. So there's like a wide variety of videos on my YouTube channel. So until next time, bye.